The Zaskar surprised me, being somewhat of a dark house. I was less than convinced that it was going to ride in a calm, composed and trail-focused way, given the relative steepness of its head angle, but the reality on the trail was a little different. It wasn't especially difficult to push the bike up to its limits where it can get pretty rough and rowdy in a relatively short space of time. To top it off, the bike's limits were much further down the road of loose than I was expecting, which meant the bike was much more capable at riding harder and faster than I'd anticipated. This is down to the bike's geometry. Despite the seemingly steep 69.5-degree head angle, the longer reach, adequate wheelbase and longer chainstays equate to a roomy and controlled ride. There's plenty of space to move your body around, and the longer geometry numbers help the bike to remain more stable in precarious situations. The brake levers are particularly long too. If you've got long fingers or don't mind running your levers a long way inboard on your bars, then the lever blade length poses less of an issue, but the bike's shifter and fork lockout lever needed swapping around with the levers to make everything fit as it should. The brake pads also rattled badly in the calipers over rough ground, which was incredibly off-putting. The bigger wheels and stretched-out geometry make climbing a breeze. There's a remote lockout lever to prevent any unwanted fork bob on the climbs, although I found this to be entirely redundant in use. The Zaskar has a snappy, light feel, so when you put the power down, you really can feel the bike surging forward. This surge is felt both on steeper climbs and on flatter, rougher sections, with the big wheels helping to smooth things out and sustain momentum, whereas smaller hooped bikes can tend to stutter and stall a little more frequently. The XDSLX base drivetrain was faultless and the bike refused to drop a chain, no matter how many times I backpedaled in rough sections. The tires also surprised me too. I was concerned that the aggressive tread and fairly hard rubber compound would make me feel like Bambi on ice as soon as the trails were wet, but they offered plenty of bite and I preferred the way they gripped compared to the broader tires, such as on the Cannondale Cujo. Overall, I found the bike was easy to hold speed with, especially when ridden aggressively. It does feel like it has a real split personality, and it'd be nice to see GT commit to full-on XC racer or gnarly trail shredder, rather than hover between the two disciplines as it currently does.